That's the worst discrimination ever. They don't see the person, they see the race.
A thing that has followed me pretty much my entire adult life, and even sometimes coming up as a kid in the south side of Columbus, Ohio, and you sound like a white boy. You sound like a white boy, you know, and I go, what is that? It used to burn me up all the time. I could take that from some people, you know, a lot of people and whatnot and all, but when that comes from even your own immediate family members and all, for me, it's just as much derogatory. It's just as bad as questions I used to hear coming from when people knew I had gone to Alaska.
When we have a history of stereotypical representations and expectations of people of color, it can be really hard to break those stereotypes.
You know, you're well-spoken, but you sound very educated and things like that. All of that is code. All of that is code, and it bugged me then. It still bugs me when I hear things like, oh, you one of them college niggas now. Oh, so you too good to be around us now. You know, went out there and all, you getting around them white folks and stuff, and you think you too good to be around us now and all.
When I first started working at Tribal Council, I was so glad to be there and to learn about my heritage and learn about Alaska and everything. And then my coworkers said, oh, we're going to give you a native name. We're going to call you Zukauskas. And I went around for about 3 days saying, I have a native name, you know, and not realizing that they were all just laughing at the joke, you know. And then I was devastated when I heard what it meant. It means white shit. So I always felt like, you know, it wasn't good enough to be part native and part white. When all they see is white, is painful, because that's not all I am.
As a Black and Indigenous person of color, I have found that it can be really hard to navigate spaces and feel that I have a voice. There is a lot of research that talks about the historical representations of people of color in the media and how problematic they can be for the identity and the expectations that people of color place upon themselves, but then also that non-people of color place upon people of color.
I did address that, and when my new supervisor, she came in, and she's 100% Irish, she said, Selma, you've worked here a long time. Tell me what we need to do and where we're lacking in our communications. And I told her, not all the races are represented. All the different tribes and stuff. I said, a lot are left out, and so we talked about that, and she made it a point to get those groups in. Then when I retired last year, she said, Selma, we'll always have an alley in the annual report. It is hard addressing it. A lot of them I never addressed. But as the longer I stayed here, the more I wanted to say, hey, wait a minute now, you know.
You will go a long way treating people the way that you want to be treated yourself.
Really, it's a matter of the heart. you know, to really say, I respect all human beings for what they are. It's hard to get to the heart.
When we create these spaces, it doesn't just build relationships or allow people to share their stories for themselves. It also creates space for people to heal, the people that are telling the stories to be able to be heard, and then for people who are hearing the stories to be able to know that they're not alone and that there's other people doing really hard work and they're fighting to empower other people that look like us and break stereotypes and change the narrative so that people of color who have been historically marginalized for generations can continue to have a better future, not just for themselves, but for the future generations.